Howdy ho and good day, or should I say good evening, depending on where in the world you are, good whatever it is. Welcome aboard. God bless you all, and thank you for joining us tonight on our Truckers on the Road, first ever vertical live. I decided, well, I'm nearing the end of the week, literally the end of the week, and literally the end of the road. No, I'm not quitting trucking. Don't worry about it. But I am going to take me a decent break. I've been out here long enough. It is time to go home. And I've got some lovely supporter friends with me. Say hello to the grumpy old trucker. How you doing tonight, my grumpy old fart?
I'm doing just fine. How are you, boss man?
All right, good. You ready to kick my butt on down the road and say, go home, old man?
I've been saying that for a few weeks now.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, we'll get into my routine here in just a minute now. In the meantime, another lovely face with us. The lovely and one and only Mrs. Boss Man. How you doing there, girl? I'll bet you're ready for me to come home, ain't you?
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's an understatement. Yeah. In case you hadn't figured out, this is That's Truckin. My name is Boss Man, and we are all about having fun. This channel, unlike my other news channel, we are about the trucking life. We are about the ins, the outs, the goods, the bad, everything that goes on. So we are out here right now, just on this broadcast alone, just having a good time. Because I've been out here busting my butt for the last, what would you say it is, about 4 weeks, honey?
4 or
About that?
5, yeah.
Pretty much. So if you're watching the broadcast, put down in the chat, let me know, how long do you normally stay out? Is 4 weeks a vacation for you, or are you like a 6-monther or lifetimer? Let us know. What's your average time on the road before you actually sit down, get out of the truck, kick your feet back, pour open a cold one, and say enough's enough? I mean, me, I try to do at least every 2 to 3. That's my normal routine. You know, because about 2 to 3, that's really about all I can get to be productive. Any more than that, I start making mistakes and I start doing stupid crap. You know, I mean, yeah, it's one thing to be devoted to your job. It's one thing to really love what you do, but it's another one entirely to actually get out and take a break. If you're feeling froggy, if you know anything about my channel, I have another channel I do vlogs on. It's called World of Truckin'. On that channel, I have featured one video. I don't remember the title of it, but I talk about in that video, it's probably my third to last video that I did. I talk about the importance of not being afraid to ask for time off. I know you remember that video, dear. It's real important to do that, because if you're out here every day, time in, time out, no break, monotony gets to you and you begin making mistakes big time. And I think he's trying to be funny. Driving with John's in the background saying, trucking life makes you say truck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a polite way of putting it.
I don't know what he means, but okay. Maybe you can explain
it's the
that, John.
YouTube version.
Explain what you mean by that. I think I do know, but I'm not sure. Anyway, hey, if you're, and speaking of trucking life, if you're in the audience, by all means, pipe up, say hi. We are not taking calls on this one because this is just an experimental vertical live. I wanted to see if I could manage the screen and talk to a few of you wonderful people in the audience, because I don't know how this stuff works. I know how my regular ones work. So what the heck? It's the end of the week. I thought I'll try it. Why not? If you're watching and you like stuff about trucking life, if you like videos and content that answer common questions, this is your channel. This is the place. I've got the banner up top that asks you to like and subscribe. By all means, oblige yourself. Like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. You're not missing a beat. If you're into trucking news and keeping up with the industry and knowing what's going on and an interesting perspective from a very opinionated trucker, i.e., me, then go on over to Truckin City Media. I host a Saturday show every week at 11 o'clock in the morning. Me and the group and the crew that you see on the screen right now, plus one in the background, driving with John. We get up, we have some fun conversation, and in a lot of cases, serious conversation about issues that affect trucking. So that's it. I'm Boss Man. I have a media enterprise. I have goals. I have dreams. And those are simply to do one thing: make trucking again. So what do you think, Frank, in terms of home time? What feels good to you? What do you normally endure?
Well, this old codger's been in this for 23 plus years. And let me tell you, I'm loving it whenever I can find me a good company that I can get home every week. Unfortunately, some companies is unable to perform that for me. But, if I can get home at least every other week and have a couple of days off, I'm happy with that also. Any more than that, and I start getting really, anxious to want to come home, see my family, and spend time with them, take care of things. Because like you said earlier when you first began, it gets to you after a while being in that truck. You're in a small space. There's not a whole lot to do. Even
Yeah.
if you're out on the road and you're doing a 34, you're going to be, unless you're at a good place like that wonderful TA that you talk about out there, Petro, whatever it is out there close to you, where you got the bowling alley and all that in it.
Oh, that's in Columbia. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, you get really bored, and
Well,
it's just
honestly, and I've been doing this last few days, and it's surprised. I'm really surprised you and John haven't caught on with the few conversations we had. And yes, John, by the way, asking a question posted up above. If I'm not a trucker guy, I still watch. I encourage it, my friends. I encourage it because if you're not a trucker, how else are you going to learn how things get on the store shelves? Why things are so expensive? Why in the world do us truckers act so crazy on the road when people like you four-wheelers cut us off? I mean, easy to some of the things we talk about on this channel, but I mean, yes, please, if you're not a trucker and you're interested in our lifestyle and things we do, please, by all means, subscribe, keep watching. You might learn something. But I'm surprised you and John haven't really picked up on, I'm making more mistakes, and they're not big mistakes. They're not ones that, are going to hurt people or, but I'll get to talking to you every so often on the phone. Even you, my dear one, you and I are talking, you'll all of a sudden hear me curse and swear. Damn it, missed an exit. Shit, missed my turn. Yeah. It just comes up left, right, and sideways. I do that more when I'm out 4 or 5 weeks.
well, you're describing the wrong way, John.
That's not fair, man. He's got to be here to defend himself. Man. Come on now.
Well, he kind of is.
Yeah. Speaking of which, he's apologizing. John, don't apologize. It's a sign of weakness. He's got things.
It is not.
Hey, look, don't pick on my man Gibbs now. I'm an NCIS
Oh,
man.
Gibbs Schmibs. It is not a sign of weakness.
All right, young lady, defend your position. Why is it not a sign of weakness?
Because everyone makes mistakes. What? No, because you make a mistake, you're not allowed to say sorry? It shows weakness? No. Shows you're a human being.
Well, hey, yeah,
all right.
We all make mistakes. But I mean, hey, if you acknowledge the mistake, let's say you have to apologize for it. Maybe it's not a mistake that affected somebody. Hey,
No matter what you do, you still have to ask the one above for forgiveness.
Uh-huh. John's getting one back at you, Frank. He's got your back. He's got your back. Can you read that?
I read it.
What's it say?
Let me see. Hey, Boo Boo,
I,
you need to give a
he,
call to CP.
Hey,
uh,
We'll tell
he
you.
kind of
We'll,
spelt it wrong at the end, but that's okay.
I know. We'll tell you. We'll tell you off camera what
so
that
if he
means.
calls him Boo Boo, does that make him Yogi?
Yeah.
That's kind of the joke going on. Yeah, that's kind of the joke between the two of them.
But who has the picnic basket?
I guess they're leaving that one up to me.
Yeah. No,
Then
you're the
you're
ranger.
the ranger.
You're
I
the
mean,
ranger because you got the hat and
have
everything.
you have referred to us here as the Three Stooges, have you not?
Huh?
You have referred to us as the Three Stooges, have you not?
Yes.
All right, there you go. I guess that means I got the picnic basket. He finally figured it out. All right, John, go spend time with your family, my friend. Love to have you around, but man, the wife's more important.
Yes.
But yeah, so I got one question, and I think this will be more a question that maybe if there's somebody in the audience, they'd be more tuned to answer. But let's entertain a question. What's the hardest part of being a trucker? So, Frank, I'm gonna let you dive into that answer. Say, of all the jobs you've done, and you've got 23 years of experience, all right, what's the hardest part of all the jobs that you've ever done?
Well, to be honest with you, the hardest part of the job is actually concentration. I feel it really is because you have to constantly concentrate on what you're doing at all times, whether you're backing or you're turning around or you're driving down the highway. Concentration is the hardest thing. It really is.
I'm of the camp, and this is my opinion. And guys, if you're in the audience watching, and I'm not paying attention to stats, so I don't know how many people are watching right now. But if you're out there watching and you hear me ask this question, put in chat, what's the hardest part? If you're a trucker, what's the hardest part about being a truck driver? And my answer is simply this. To me, the hardest part is not the job itself. To me, the hardest part is the fact that for all the work I do and the little thanks I get on a daily basis, I don't get enough of acknowledgement of the fact that I sacrifice being away from my family. Now, I'm not expecting a violin, I'm not expecting a chorus. I'm just simply pointing out the obvious. There's a lot of truck drivers out there that willingly, yes, make the choice to do the job, but we sacrifice of our time, our skills, our knowledge, our effort. And the part that I'm going on is that a majority of the people out there don't really know all the things we go through. They don't see it. They only see it way after it's done, and they only understand it when it's in the news. And that to me is the hardest part about being a trucker. It's a thankless job. It has its moments, don't get me wrong. There are the days, the trucker appreciation days, the recognition for a job well done, attaboys, the bonuses. They're all good and they're all well meaning. But the thanks that I'm referring to, in my humble opinion, comes in two stages. One, the first stage is the average everyday person that I just spoke about. The second is the support network that we currently have. Now, don't misunderstand my statement. The support network I have is absolutely beautiful and takes care of both my children. That is the best support network any person could have. But the support network I refer to as opposed to the industry is the regulators, the insurance companies, the people that make the decisions, the CEOs, all the people up there that have the power to make decisions that greatly and negatively affect us on an everyday basis. fixing that would go a long way to making the industry a better place. You agree, Frank?
Yeah, I do agree with you on that, boss man.
Yeah. I certainly wish everybody in the audience, if you're hearing this on the replay, give me an amen in the comments, because I know that I'm not the only one that thinks that way. And what are your thoughts, dear, in terms of the hardest part? It can't be a being a trucker because you're not a trucker, but you are, as I kindly pointed out a minute ago, you are my rock. You are my support network. Okay. But having said, what is to you the hardest part of doing that job?
The hardest part to me is having to be mommy and daddy while you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've got to be mommy, daddy, chauffeur, cook, maid, doctor, bill payer, you name it. I got to do it all. Mm-hmm. And with nobody around, no friends, you know, your family is in Goldsboro, yes, but they've got lives of their own,
right,
and stuff they have to do. But with nobody to help me and doing it all on my own, it's exhausting.
Right. It is. It is. It does take a toll. If you had a conversation with another trucker's wife and they were having issues similar to what you just described, dealing or having problems dealing with what you just described, you know, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them to get them through that hard time?
I'd probably tell them that they're not alone. Mm-hmm. You know, all truckers' wives at some point feel this way, and they go through it. Everybody does.
Everybody does.
That they can always reach out. Mm-hmm. There's always somebody to reach out to.
Yeah.
And just always, as always, pray to God. God will get you through it.
Oh, yes, definitely.
God will get you through it.
Yeah.
You know, it, like I said, being mommy, daddy, everything all in one. Yeah, it's exhausting, but at the same time, it's like, it's also rewarding because you get to see the strengths in yourselves that you didn't think you had.
Yeah. That is an interesting way of looking at it.
Because when all this,
take the conversation that way, but kudos to you for that. Yeah.
When all this started, like you mentioned, I was only 4.5 months pregnant with Andrew, and not to start a holy war, but you know, you and someone else just signed up for truck driving school, and I had no say about it, and it was just off you go. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? I've got this newborn. I don't know what I'm doing, and he's gone, and I'm going to be by myself. And yes, at the time I had family and friends around, but once we moved down here, I was like, okay, now what? I've got nobody.
All these years later, though, look at all the things you've learned and all the things.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to. It's like now, looking ahead and looking to now, it's like, wow.
Yeah. It's just
if someone had told me when I was 25 that I'd be a trucker's wife and that I'd be doing what I'm doing, I would have laughed at them and be like, you're crazy. No, I'm not. I'm not marrying a trucker. No, I want, I'm my own woman.
Right.
But now looking back, I'm glad that I am. And I found strengths in myself, that I never knew existed.
Right. Yeah.
It's like when the kids are sick and I'm up around the clock and, I still got the house to take care of and I got this to do. You don't know what you have the capability of doing until you do it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Why do I feel like the maid off of the Brady Bunch right now? Alice, I believe was her name, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's how we became the Trucker Bunch. The Trucker Bunch.
Sailors for sailor. No, I ain't gonna do that. No.
Hey, as long as it's the trucker bunch and not da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're gonna start renditions of TV shows. God will be right. Oh, mercy sakes. Well, now seriously, this show right here, basically, just letting you and the public know that this channel may have been dormant for a little while because I've been kind of messing around with ideas. But I think the best thing to serve everyone, all 955 current subscribers, is letting you know what it's like to be a trucker and giving you the opportunity to see more of a personal level what life is like for me. I mean, I'm not all about the vlogs and everything else. I mean, I'm kind of a work in progress when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I think you, the industry, and everybody else around you would benefit immensely by getting to know more about me personally. So that's what the mission of That's Truckin' is moving forward. I welcome you aboard. Certainly take every opportunity. Watch the videos I put out. Enjoy our lives. I'm putting out as many as I can. And by all means, if you have a question, send me a question. I'll put up my email address. I mean, I don't mind answering just random questions. Anytime, you feel the need to, ask about either a video, a current trending topic, anything going on, the regular life of a trucker, I mean, by all means, send us an email, let us know. That's trucking news at outlook.com. That's trucking news at outlook.com. Watch my lives every week on Saturday. I publish a phone number. It's the studio line. I don't generally answer when I'm not on the air, but if you leave a message, I'll definitely entertain whatever message you leave. If it's a link to a story, if you got an idea on something you want to talk about, if you want to get on the show, let me know. I certainly am open to suggestions. I have got some rip-roaring fun topics coming up for a lot of my regular podcasts. I invite you guys to watch, have fun, stick around and learn a lot because that's what this mission is, to make trucking great again. So if you're on board with that, become a subscriber, like this video. You certainly won't regret it. See, I had one more question queued up. That's a good one for you, Frank. What's the hardest skill you've had to learn and master driving truck all those years?
The hardest skill that I've had to master.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I first began, believe it or not, it was the backing skill, but learning how to do the backing maneuvers and stuff. But I got the hang of it, and it was no problem after I started learning because I had good instructors that taught me what to look for, how to look at it, and voila. Right. Now, through the years, I'd have to say the hardest thing is whenever you're doing real tight maneuvers in tight areas. Because I've went and bumped a lot of docks that are in some very tight areas, and there's actually been drivers for one company I just resigned from not long ago due to health reasons, that I went up there, and of course it had just snowed up in Colorado when I went to go pick this load up. And he said that another driver, or actually had two of the drivers that went there, and they were all complaining, we can't get in there. And I didn't have any problem. It's a blindside back. I got in there. I backed in. I had, about 6 inches of snow on the ground. So, of course, I'm going to be sliding a little bit as it's packing down. Didn't have a bit of problem.
Back is going to be the hardest thing for anybody out there. I don't care how experienced you are. It's got to be the hardest thing.
And I got in there, bumped the dock, and way I got loaded. And I also sent some pictures into which I still have. I sent some pictures into my fleet manager and showed him. I says, you see the tracks? I backed right up in here, no problem. I said, I don't understand why the other drivers didn't. I said, yeah, there's stuff in front of me here. I said, I took pictures of that and sent it to him as well. I said, but that doesn't keep me from it. So, I'd have to say that's the second thing.
Yeah. For those that are not in the industry and don't speak the language, okay, let's define what the term blindside back means, okay? Just in case somebody happens on this broadcast and they don't speak truck, if you will. Let's delineate what the difference is. Now, if you pull up to a shipper and you look out your driver window and you make that trailer turn in your vision into a dock where you can see the trailer, and that trailer turns to your left as you're backing in, that's called a sight side or a regular 90, basically. Now, if you're backing in and the place you're backing into is on your right side, and you then have to make that trailer make a right-hand 90-degree turn, you can't see as easily to get into whatever you're backing into. And that is what, by definition, is called a blindside back. And I don't care what driver, you have, unless you have a day cab where you have a rear window where you can look out and see everything pretty clearly. Most of us don't like blindsides. We try to avoid them at all costs because it involves 6-inch move, stop, get out, look. 6-inch move, get out, stop, look, get back in. It's a staged process. It takes forever.
Unless, of course, you're like the grumpy old codger here and have been doing it for a long time.
Well, no, even you would be sensible about it. Okay, show off. You're going to get out and look because you want to make sure that even despite the nice angle of your mirrors or whatever fancy trick you're going to tell me, you're going to damn well get out and look. Come on, don't play that cocky stuff with me.
The only time I do that is if I feel that I'm going to be getting too close to an object or something and I'm not sure. Because when in doubt, get out. And that's about the only time I'll do that. When I doubt myself, I automatically stop it, pull the brake, and I get out and look.
Yep.
But yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, just so people know what we're talking about, I hate getting off in a tangent on a conversation and everybody's like, I don't understand what they're talking about. I hate doing that. I hate even watching shows that forget there are viewers out there. I don't like doing that. I like to keep the viewer interested. I want to keep them educated, informed. So, by the way, if you're in the audience, we got a few more minutes. We're going to be live talking for a few minutes. Drop a question. If you're curious about something we've talked about or something random, by all means, ask away. What about you, sweetheart? The hardest skill you had to master being Mrs. Bossman?
The list is too
Be nice. Be nice. This is public broadcasting, dear.
the list is too long. The hardest thing I've had to learn.
I know I put you on the spot. Sorry.
But I would have to say taking care of a newborn baby, like on my own.
Really?
Yeah. Well, think about it. I've had my own apartments before, so taking care of a place was not a big deal to me.
Well, I would have thought. Now, just for context, okay, audience, me and the missus have known each other and we always disagree. It's a Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 38 years, right?
No.
Right? 38 years. We've known each other for 38 years.
37. Next year will be 38.
Point proven. Thank you. Last time I did that, you were like, no, it's something else. Okay, James Smith. Anyway, point is, in all the years you and I have known each other, I would have thought mastering the multitasking aspects of dealing with my dad, my daughter, and my lifestyle would have been top of your list.
Well, yeah.
But you talk about a newborn. I see now, in my mind, I think that's the easiest thing for a woman to do because the maternal instinct kicks in.
Right. But when you have a special needs child, it's a different story.
Well, we didn't figure all that out when he was newborn either. We didn't figure that out.
We figured it out when he was 3 months old.
Right. But you had time to adjust. Point is the point I'm making.
Right. Now,
You instead of
taking care of newborn and then finding out 4 months later after that newborn is born, you're pregnant with the second one.
Oh,
so now you're pregnant, taking
so
care of
that's what you're talking
the first one,
Yeah.
then moving, taking care of your dad, taking care of your daughter.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
kind of see where she's going with this, boss man.
Yeah, and
it is kind of difficult for young ladies.
And I'm never the good guy when it comes to these conversations. But
No,
hey,
because let me tell you, if it were just taking care of your dad and daughter, it would have been a different story.
yeah,
But having two little ones on top of that keep you up every couple of hours to eat or to be changed, or because they had at the time they had that hand, foot, and mouth disease running 104 temperatures around the clock.
One of them was colicky. I remember that. And
Andrew was colicky at the same time as having hand, foot, and mouth. They both had at the same time. So here I am dealing with two kids up around the clock, hardly any sleep for days.
Yep.
Taking care of your dad, taking care of the, Ariana. And it was like, when does it end?
Yeah. And John thought he had some crazy broadcasts. You know why I bring this up? It's not, it's really, no, it's, I don't bring it up to split you and me in conversation here. Or have Frank sitting there looking at us like, will you two shut up already? I bring it up because, I mean, honestly, there's, pardon the expression, shit ton of people out there that go through exactly what you go through, Mom. There are a shit ton of people out there that are the backbone of people like me and Frank that on a daily basis are the glue that keep the families together. And
but here's a question for both of you.
Let me finish my point. I would like to reach them. I would like to be able to help them. Because you remember a while ago, I thought about going on this campaign of talking to spouses of doctors, military people, all that kind of stuff. I mean, truckers are people too. Sorry, John, I had to go there. But they have wives at home. They have family at home. They need
They have husbands at home because there's women.
There's women. Thank you. And you guys jump into my anyway. So they need support. They need network. They need something behind them. So if you know a trucker's wife or someone like Lori, and they don't seem to have very many friends, reach out, help them out. Say, hey, can I help you? Say thank you. I've got your back. That kind of thing. Let's be, as you mentioned the other night, Frank, let's be that brotherhood, that network. Let's help people stick it out, get through the hard times. What were you going to say, Lori?
Well, first, I want to get rid of brotherhood because there's women in there. So I'm thinking, make it a familyhood. But anyway, that's
yeah, you get that. I get that. Yeah.
Anyway, no, but seriously, here's a thought. If there's any truckers' wives on here, that are feeling the way I did and do a lot of times, they can always contact me.
Now or on the replay.
They can always reach out to me. I'll talk to them. I have no problem with that.
Just simply look at the email address top of the screen. Reach out to That's Truckin News at Outlook.com and title your email Bossman's Wife. I'll make darn sure she gets that email and we'll do what we can. I'm all about helping people network and helping people out. I dog the industry. I really do. I dog the people that control it, just like I started this broadcast out. But the truth is, we need to help those that can't help themselves. How did I close the other night with, what was it, Proverbs 31? Was that what it was?
I think so.
It was a verse of some sort.
So, yeah, but it was basically on the idea of helping those that have no voice, And a lot of times people like yourself, Lorianne, they don't have anyone to fall back on. And for a little while there, you didn't. and kind of still don't now, but you're better off than you were. But, you know, it's those people that need help, whether it's advice, sanity, just to know they're not alone. That by itself is priceless. And I'm all for it. You know, I mean, I can talk all night long about stories that have inspired me to do exactly what it is we're talking about, the kind of show we're talking about, and the things that we're talking about. I mean, countless people that really the only thing that have lifted them up was social media. You know, so I mean, it's ridiculous. We should be in a day and age today where that is that this conversation is necessary. But it's an unfortunate, sad truth. But
here's my question I was going to ask both of you.
Okay.
If you didn't have the families that you have, or if you were single, would you still be a truck driver?
Good question. Frank, what's your thoughts?
I certainly would. I've been wanting to be a truck driver since I was a real young boy. So yeah, I would still be driving a truck.
You would. Despite your wife's protest or dismay over the job?
Well,
I think that's what
the topic was the topic was
if he didn't have a family, if he didn't have a wife, kids, and all that, if he were single.
Oh, is that what you said? Okay, I misread the question. Okay. If he didn't have, what would we do? And you already know my answer, dear, but I'm going to repeat it for the benefit of the audience because they have never been part of that conversation. But I have long said that were it not for the love of my life sharing in this dream of mine with me, I would not be doing this. I see no
sense. Really? Who is he?
I see no sense in endeavoring in a, as I opened it up, not completely thankless, but less appreciated job. I don't know what I'd do, but honestly, were it not for the support of my family, I wouldn't be doing this. Honestly, I have to say that. You know, it's just, it's a sad reality, and it goes to actually say a lot about the narrative now that's floating around that a lot of people leave the industry relatively quickly. There is a high attrition rate in this industry. It's not really because of the issue we're talking about. There's other issues associated with it. But what we're covering tonight, what we're talking about, doesn't help it. You know, so if the golden question being asked tonight is how can we make trucking great again, can be answered, it is uplift those at home. Give them the support and the feeling of comfort that they so well deserve. You know, because honestly, at the end of the day, were it not for the people like my wife and others that back us up every day, our jobs would probably not exist. It's really hard to think about. Our jobs are hard. We ask very little of you. By you, I mean the general public. So all I ask you, when you walk around, you notice the semi-truck, you see that driver get out, wipe his brow, reach over, give him a smile, and give him 2 words. Thank you. That by itself will be far more in the long run, make you feel good. And that is how you make trucking great again. And that's trucking.